Carolina is an amazing place. It's a one of one. That is your quote of the day from Arizona men's basketball coach Tommy Lloyd. Lloyd appeared to be at the top of UNC's wish list to replace Hubert Davis. And Lloyd would be a good choice. He got the Arizona Wildcats in the Final Four. And clearly he has some nice things to say about North Carolina. But that's where the love affair ends. Today, Lloyd signed an extension with Arizona, meaning UNC must look elsewhere. Between this head coaching hunt, NC State's new coach, and Duke's stunning loss in the Elite Eight, we had a whole lot to talk about down at Murph's Turf. Murph, I got to talk to you about this big news this afternoon. Tommy Lloyd, he was the favorite to be the next UNC head coach for basketball. Now we know he signed an extension at Arizona. What's next?
It's a great question. I mean, I've all along been wondering how much of Tommy Lloyd's interest was real and how much it was to get a better deal at Arizona. Looks like he got the better deal at Arizona.
North Carolina is an amazing place. I mean, it's a one of one. With that being said, though, I made a decision that my Michael Jordan is Steve Kerr, and I'm proud to be an Arizona Wildcat.
Still keep your eyes on the Final Four, right? Dusty May, he's the head coach at Michigan. I believe that he is one of the candidates at least. We'll see if he's interested in leaving a team that's already in the Final Four. And then Billy Donovan, head coach of the Chicago Bulls. Their season doesn't end for another week or so, but could he be interested in getting back to college basketball? Once you get past those three guys, Lloyd, May, and Donovan, I think North Carolina's into kind of their second tier of coaches. We'll see who emerges from that group if it gets to it.
How quickly do they need to pull the trigger on a coach?
Well, the key date on the calendar is April 7th. That is when the transfer portal opens. We know how important the transfer portal is these days, and you don't want to be late. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, this is a decision you're hoping is a 5 to 10 to 15-year decision. You don't want to rush it just for the transfer portal this 1 year. So April 7th, a big date, maybe not the drop-dead date.
NC State announcing Justin Gainey as their next head coach. What's your impression of it going so far?
Yeah, I mean, he certainly said all the right things at his press conference, and I think it's interesting that NC State moved so quickly to get someone the exact opposite of Will Wade, right? Will Wade, no loyalty, leaves after a year, doesn't seem like he ever wanted to be here in the first place. Now they go get a guy who's an alum, who wants to be at NC State. We see this a lot of times, right? You go from one extreme to the other, and it looks like NC State responded to a guy leaving them in the lurch by going and getting a guy that probably will never leave them unless it's for one of the top 5 jobs in the country.
It was interesting how quickly NC State was able to hire Gainey while we're watching UNC still in the search process.
Yeah, some of that is the targets, right? The candidates that they're targeting. UNC's targeting people that are still playing. But part of it is Boo Corrigan went through this last year. He had to hire Will Wade last year. He interviewed Justin Gainey last year. He had come up with a list of candidates last year. Not much has changed in 1 year for him to go back to many of those same candidates and talk to them. So some of it's just the logistics of, I did this last year.
Yeah, he had a short list going already. Hey, so this is the first time that we've been able to chat with you since you were in D.C. for that heartbreaking game, Duke losing in just that buzzer beater. And of course, we saw your reaction because of a photo that circulated across the country. What was that like?
Yeah, I was shocked. I still am in a little bit of shock at how those last seconds of that game played out. For Caden Boozer to turn that ball over and Braylon Mullins to make that shot from the logo, literally, and to knock Duke out after a 19. I mean, I'm still stunned. It's like the details just keep coming, but it's hard to believe. And that photo sort of captured me in the moment of my jaw just dropped. And that was, I think, everybody's reaction. I've seen lots of pictures. You saw Dan Hurley's mom's reaction. I mean, everybody's reaction was just stunned disbelief. And I think the Duke program now 2 years in a row, blowing big leads late in the NCAA tournament, they've got to be a little bit stunned as well.
Your expression was that of all of us. Great to have you back, Murph.
Thank you.
I loved the freeze frame on Murph's expression during that game in that moment.